Tucker Carlson, conservative spokesman on Fox News, Friday night with the passing of Justice Ginsburg, I didn't hear what he had to say, but he, like many others on the right, honored her legacy, did not attack her pro-abortion stance or things that have been considered radical feminist, or look at her just as an ideological opponent, appreciated her accomplishments and wish condolences to mourners. In other words, that's a right and proper thing to do. We're not talking about Osama bin Laden being taken out or something like that. Here was a justice served America, but had some ideological opinions that I categorically, to the core of my being, differ with. But in her passing, I'm still going to speak respectfully and pray for the grieving family. Then there's plenty of time to discuss our differences. We did that before and after. So Tucker Carlson's talking about that. But there was a major report that her dying wish was that she not be replaced until a new president is elected. So Tucker Carlson is showing how Democrats have been taking her words and running with them. Let's watch.
As a nation, we should heed her final call to us, not as a personal service to her, but as a service to the country, our country, at a crossroads.
Honor her last words that she not be replaced until a new president is installed.
She said, "My most fervent wish is that I will not be replaced until a new president is installed." We believe that.
Her fervent wish is that the next president pick. That was the last thing she said to the public.
We know who this man is. We know who this man is. This is a man who does not care about a dying woman's final wish, clearly.
So those final words from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, speaking of President Trump, doesn't care about woman's dying wish. Tucker Carlson is 100% right, and others are 100% right in saying, with all respect to Justice Ginsburg, that was not her call to make. It's not the call of anyone to make. This is for elected officials to do what they were elected to do. That's the issue before us. So with all respect to her, she doesn't get to make that call. And I don't think that was in her mind that she thought she got to make that call. That was just her fervent wish that he expressed. So appreciate that, understand that, but you have to act on what you've been elected to act on and do what you feel is right, nominating or not nominating, voting for, voting against the Supreme Court justice. But here's what's interesting. When President Trump was asked about this, he said, I don't know if she actually said it. Maybe Chuck Schumer or someone else wrote it for her. I don't know that she actually said it. And that's Tucker Carlson's position as well. So listen to what he has to say.
Keep in mind, we don't really know actually what Ruth Bader Ginsburg's final words were. Did she really leave this world fretting about a presidential election? We don't believe that for a second. If it were true, it would be pathetic, because life is bigger than politics. Even this year, we wouldn't wish final words that small on anyone. So we're going to, again, choose to believe that Ruth Bader Ginsburg didn't really say that in real life, she was thinking at the end about her family and where she might be going next. Human concerns, not partisan ones.
Now, here's where I differ with Tucker Carlson. Oh, okay, if the quote was manufactured and the thing's just being foisted on us, then it's fine to question it. All right, this is passed on by the granddaughter. My policy is to give the benefit of the doubt unless there's evidence against it. In other words, when I meet someone and they present themselves a certain way or tell me certain things, unless there's evidence against it, or it's very obvious, I can see that I'm not being told the truth, I'm going to believe the best, and I'm going to trust the sincerity of the person talking to me unless I have clear evidence to the contrary. So Tucker Carlson would say, well, it's obvious you wouldn't say something like that, and that's not going to be your last wish, your dying words. And well, let me tell you why I differ with that. Number one, doesn't say those were the very last words she uttered on earth, correct? Doesn't say that, but that her most fervent dying wish, her most fervent last wish. So this is something that she allegedly conveyed to family, passed on by her granddaughter, and that she said this before leaving this world. Tucker Carlson said, well, that's petty, that's political, you wouldn't think like that. Okay, no one says it's the closing words that she spoke and then closed her eyes and went into eternity. That's not how it's being presented. But as I understand the life of Justice Ginsburg, this would be something that she was thinking about. In other words, she could have retired years ago. She was getting weak. She was frail. She was battling cancer. For the first time, what was it, a few weeks back, she wasn't there for oral arguments because of bout with cancer. But each time she'd come out, and she was going to hang on with the hope that a Democratic president would be appointed who could replace her. This, to me, this would make perfect sense. Someone of her character. Yes, I differed with her ideologically, but I wish we had more people that stuck to conviction the way she did. Oh, I differ with her convictions. I'm on the opposite side of some key things that she stood for and appreciate other things that she did. But she was obviously courageous. She, Scalia was a lion. She was a lioness. It would make perfect sense to me that as she realizes she can't hang on any longer, because, I talked about her passing being sudden and unexpected because we heard she had cancer, then she was okay and treated for this, but she was okay. So we weren't told that this was now about to take her life or that she was failing, or obviously at 87, you're frail, anything could happen and you could be gone. But if she suddenly realizes I can't hold on any longer, the elections are less than 50 days away, I can't hang on any longer, I could see that as being a dying wish for her. I mean, her legacy is not just family. Obviously, family was important to her, kids, grandkids. But the legacy, the reason that the world knows her is because she was a Supreme Court justice and she was a feminist icon and she was a liberal Jewish icon and all of that. All right. So it would make perfect sense to me. And to me, that would not be degrading for her to feel that way or not caring about weightier issues. That would be in keeping with my understanding of who she was, that these social, moral, cultural issues really mattered to her. I wish she was on different sides of many of them. And then, of course, she'll give account to the judge of all, just like all of us will. The biggest judge on this world is very little. We'll all give account to the judge. But I have no problem thinking that in her last day that she would have expressed something like that because of trying to hang on. And now she can't hang on. And then maybe closing words with family. And who knows what is going to be important in those last minutes. But that does not seem contradictory to me. So without other evidence, I'll believe she did say it.